Hello, today is October 3rd, 2015. I'm Jeffrey Tennant. My last call said there was a MEJT target of 1901.98 that printed immediately, and there was support under that price. During the day, early on, MEJT said ultimately higher prices would print, which they did. That was in the morning. In the afternoon, it said ultimately lower prices would print. They printed. The system said there was a false move, which it was. Let's get rid of this. And it said prices would return to this line on or after this time, which they did. We don't have any new MEJT targets from Friday's trade, but we're awfully close to 1952.90, which is a failed target from September 25, and even though the system does not require it to print soon, I think it's very likely that it will. There are a number of signals from Friday's trade. My overall impression is that we will move slightly higher and then reverse, possibly very sharply, to the downside. This is a 30-minute chart. You can see that we have passed the TDST line, which was here, and there is resistance from one bar past the line. So we have resistance from the TDST line. We have resistance from the MEJT target. On the 15-minute chart, we have 12 out of 13 bars for a combo sell. We have 10 out of 13 for a sequential sell. So if we do move a little bit higher, we'll get sell signals on this chart. We have a pretty impulsive move up here. If I'm correct about the top of the market being in, you shouldn't have a corrective move being, you shouldn't have an impulsive move going up unless it's part of an ABC. This would be a wave C. And if this counts right, we have A, B, C with C equal to 0.618 times A. If that works, we should start wave 5 down pretty soon, but of course you won't know that for certain until it's too late to do much about it. We have a wall at the close. Typically that is met with a gap down at the open. We also have a Hobson close right at the high of the day, and that's also met by a gap down at Monday's open, very often. This conflicts with the rule that a strong move in one direction on Friday usually carries through on Monday, and that starting out low and rallying all day long usually has follow through too. It's possible to have everything work out if we gap down Monday, leaving a hole in the wall gap, and then shortly thereafter, by early Wednesday, rally, close the hole, overtake Friday's high, and find resistance just past that price. I think that's a very likely scenario, and that's what I'm going to be looking for early next week. There are two things which could change the prediction. If we have a gap up, which is very strong, Monday, that would be a gap over resistance, and we have to give it some credibility unless it reverses immediately. If we have a gap down, it's possible that the whole party's over. I really think it's extremely unlikely we're going to go too much higher than we are now, because if you look at this chart, you will see, despite the very strong rally, we had no increase in breadth at all, and bad breadth in the market usually leads to much lower prices. So for next week, early on, I'm looking for slightly higher prices, quite likely preceded by a gap down. And if we do have that, I think we're going to have a top not much higher than we closed on Friday, and that the next leg of the decline should start pretty soon. And that is today's call.